ሰላም የተከበራችሁ የእውቀት ስንቅ ቤተሰቦች እንደምን ቆያችሁ? ይህ የእውቀት ስንቅ ነው። በዚህ ቪዲዮ እንግዲህ ሎጂክ ኤንድ ክሪቲካል ቲንኪንግ የአስቱ ፋይናል ኤግዛም ምናምን ነው የሚሆነው። የ2014 ኢትዮጵያን ካላንደር ነው ምንሰራው። ስለዚህ ወደ ጥያቄዎቹ ከመግባታችን በፊት ለዚህ ዩቲዩብ ቻናል አዲስ ከሆናችሁ እስኪ አንዴ 2 ሰከንድ ወሰዱና እስኪ ሰብስክራይብ የምትለውን በተን አሪፍ ቪዲዮን ከወደዳችሁ ደግሞ ላይክ ማድረግ እንዳትረሱ። አፕዴት ሲሆን ቪዲዮዎች አዲስ ሲለቀቁ እንዲደርሷችሁ ሰብስክራይብ አጠገብ ያለችውን ደውል መንካት እንዳትረሱ። ይህ የእውቀት ስንቅ ነው። ቀጥታ ወደ ጥያቄዎቹ። Part 1. Choose. Which one of the following is wrong about philosophy? Mark my word. Wrong about philosophy. A. It is a denial of common sense knowledge and an attempt to understand reality through rigorous employment of reason. B. It is an outright rejection of religious, cultural, and social world views. C. It is an attempt to find justification for our knowledge. D. It is practical and normative knowledge that help us to deal with real-life dilemmas. Pause the video and answer the question by yourself. I'm proceeding. Question number 1, answer B. It is an outright rejection of religious, cultural, and social world views. Furthermore, this statement is incorrect because philosophy does not necessarily entail outright rejection of religious, cultural, and social world views. While philosophical inquiry may challenge certain aspects of these world views, it also seeks to understand, analyze, and sometimes even incorporate elements of them into its framework. Question number 2. For any passage to be an argumentative passage, what will be required? A. It must contain statements that provide evidences. B. It must show the hidden whims of arguers. C. It must contain a claim that the alleged evidence intended to lead to a certain conclusion. D and C. Pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Question number 2, answer D and C. For any passage to be considered an argumentative passage, it must contain statements that provide evidence and a claim that the alleged evidence intended to lead to certain conclusion. These are the fundamental elements of an argument: the premises, evidence, and the conclusions that those premises support. Question number 3. No traffic accident has ever occurred in the history of Addis Ababa. Accordingly, no property and human life have been damaged by a traffic accident in Addis Ababa. This argument is A. Inductive and cogent. B. Deductive and sound. C. Inductive cogent. D. Deductive sound. Pause the video. Answer the question by yourself. Answer A. Inductive and cogent. Furthermore, this argument is inductive because it draws a general conclusion based on specific instances. However, it is uncogent because the conclusion does not necessarily follow from the premise. Just because no traffic accident has ever occurred in the history of Addis Ababa, it does not necessarily mean that no property and human life have been damaged by a traffic accident in Addis Ababa. There could be other factors at play that are not accounted for in the argument. Question number 4. Prime number means a number greater than 1 and that is divisible only by itself and 1. The definitional technique employed here is A. Subclass. B. Etymological. C. Genus and difference. D. Operational. Answer C. Genus and difference. The definitional technique employed here is genus and difference. The term prime number is defined by identifying its genus, a number greater than 1, and a specific difference that distinguishes it from other numbers, divisible only by itself and 1. Question number 5. One of the following arguments commits the fallacy of ambiguity. Which one? Fallacy of ambiguity. A. African people have been suffering from lack of democratic and good governance throughout their earthly existence. Therefore, it's time to abolish government altogether. B. Abel has been winging Muna for the past 6 months, so he is her suitor. Every suitor is expected to inform the accused of the detail of his charge. Hence, we can expect Abel to inform Muna of her charge. C. Ethiopian traders have been arguing for a reduction of tax. It's clear that they are not willing to live up to their obligations. If taxes are not paid, then government will be able to guarantee neither the security of the country nor its economic well-being. Besides, it would be selfish on the part of traders to expect profit without cost. Hence, we should be adamant to their arguments. D. It's difficult and most praiseworthy to pass through life in righteousness when one has ever license to do wrong. Rich people obviously have the power to do whatever they want. Therefore, it's difficult for rich people to be righteous. Pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Question number 5. Answer B. Abel has been weighing Muna for the past 6 months, so he is her suitor. Every suitor is expected to inform the accused of the detail of his charge. Hence, we can expect Abel to inform Muna of her charge. Furthermore, this argument contains the fallacy of ambiguity because it equivocates on the term suitor. In the first premise, suitor is used in the context of romantic pursuit, while in the second premise, it is used in legal context of referring to someone who brings a charge against another person. This ambiguity in the use of the term suitor undermine the logical coherence of the argument. Question number 6. If we define the term mountain as mountain means something such as Everest, Station, Kilimanjaro, or the Alps. The type of the definitional technique used here is A. Etymological definition, B. Enumerative definition, C. Definition by a subclass, D. Operational definition. Pause the video. Try to answer the question. Question number 6. Answer B. Enumerative definition. Furthermore, the definition lists specific examples: Everest, Station, Kilimanjaro, or the Alps. To define the term mountain, enumerative definition specify individual instances or examples to convey the meaning of term. Question number 7. Given the current situation in Ethiopia, every Ethiopian believes that the cause of all chaos in the country is the ethnic federal structure. After all, who are you to be an exception? The fallacy committed in this argument is A. Appeal to bandwagon, B. Appeal to pity, C. Appeal to force, D. Appeal to against the person. Pause the video, try the question to answer. Question number 7. Answer A. Appeal to bandwagon. Furthermore, the fallacy committed in this argument is an appeal to bandwagon. This fallacy occurs when someone argues that because everyone believes something or is doing something, it must be correct or right. In this case, the argument suggests that because every Ethiopian believes the ethnic federal structure is the cause of chaos, the listener should also believe it without question. Question number 8. David, is lighter than John, and John is heavier than Henry. Therefore, it follows necessarily that David is lighter than Henry. This argument is A. Inductive weak, B. Deductive valid, C. Deductive invalid, D. Inductive strong. Pause the video and try to answer by yourself. Question number 8, answer C. Deductive invalid. Furthermore, this argument is deductive because it attempts to drive a conclusion based on the logical relationship between the premises. However, it is invalid because the conclusion does not necessarily follow from the premise. The argument commits the fallacy of the transitive property, while the premises provide information about the relative weight of David, John, and Henry. They do not establish a direct comparison between David and Henry. Therefore, the conclusion cannot be logically inferred. Question number 9. The former American president, Mr. Donald Trump, made a speech which incited a riot at the Capitol Hill. Since the American Constitution says everyone has an unconstrained right to speech, he should not be held responsible for that speech. The fallacy occurred in this passage is A. False cause, B. Strawman, C. Accident, D. Missing the point. Pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Question number 9, answer C. Accident. The fallacy of accident occurs when a general rule is applied to a specific case. General rule is applied to a specific case where the circumstances render the rule inapplicable. In this case, while the American Constitution does not protect freedom of speech, there are limitations and exceptions to this right, such as speech that incites violence. Therefore, applying the general rule of freedom of speech to absolve Donald Trump of responsibility for inciting a riot would be fallacious. Question number 10. What fallacy committed in the passage below? The passage: these days, many students are suffering as a result of exam stress. Some of them get sick and others spend hours trying to understand the reading material given to them, thereby worrying themselves to death. Clearly, the best way to restore the students' tranquility is to abolish exams altogether. A. Suppressed evidence, B. Begging the question, C. Missing the point, D. Oversimplified. Pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Question number 10, answer C. Missing the point. The fallacy in the passage is missing the point. While it's true that students are suffering from exam stress, the conclusion that abolishing exams altogether is the best solution does not logically follow from the premises provided. The argument fails to address potential alternatives or consider whether abolishing exams would effectively address the root causes of student stress. Therefore, it misses the main point of addressing the problem of student stress in a comprehensive and effective. Students, please take a rest to subscribe, like and share the video. This is የእውቀት ስንቅ። Let's proceed. Question number 11. From the followings, which one is not the question of metaphysics? Is not the question of metaphysics. A. What is reality? B. Does God exist? C. What is the nature of existence? D. how do we know? Please pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Question number 11, answer D. How do we know? The question, how do we know, pertains more to the field of epistemology rather than metaphysics. Epistemology deals with questions about knowledge, belief, justification, and the methods by which we acquire knowledge. Metaphysics, on the other hand, is concerned with questions about the fundamental nature of reality, existence, being, and the universe. Question number 12. Nobody has ever proved that using cell phones causes brain tumors. Therefore, using cell phones does not cause brain tumors. The fallacy committed here is A. Ad hominem circumstantial, B. Argumentum ad ignorantiam, C. Ignoratio elenchi, D. Argumentum ad veracandiam. Please pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Question number 12, answer B. Argumentum ad ignorantiam. The fallacy in the given statement is argumentum ad ignorantiam, or argument from ignorance. This fallacy occurs when a proposition is concluded to be true, simply because it has not been proven false or vice versa. In this case, the argument assumes that because nobody has proven that using cell phone causes brain tumor, it must be true that using cell phone does not cause brain tumor, which is not necessarily the case. Question number 13. Identify the fallacy committed in the passage below. The passage: shaping a political activist is like growing a tree. Sometimes violent things, such as cutting off branches, have to be done to force the tree to grow straight. Similarly, corporal punishment must sometimes be inflicted on political activities to force them to act in a country legally. A. Appeal to ignorance. B. Begging the question. C. Weak analogy. D. Oversimplified. Please pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Question number 30. Answer C. Weak analogy. The fallacy in the passage is weak analogy. The analogy drawn between shaping a political activist and growing a tree is weak because it equates physical violence towards activists with pruning a tree to help it grow straight. This comparison fails to adequately address the ethical, moral, and legal implications of using violence against individuals for political purposes, making the analogy weak and inappropriate. Question number 14. Which of the following argument is deductively invalid? Deductively invalid. A. Either the wealthiest people are the happiest, or it is not the case that money can buy everything. The wealthiest people are not the happiest, therefore money cannot buy everything. B. If some surgeons are allergists, then some physiatrists are radiologists, but no psychiatrists are radiologists, therefore no surgeons are allergists. C. Some men are philosophers. All students are men, therefore some students are philosophers. D. All physicians are individuals who have earned a degree in political science, and some lawyers are physicians. Therefore, some lawyers are persons who have earned degrees in political science. Please pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Question number 14, answer C. Some men are philosophers. All students are men. Therefore, some students are philosophers. This argument is deductively invalid. The conclusion does not logically follow from the premise. Even if all students are men and some men are philosophers, it does not necessarily mean that some students are philosophers. The conclusion goes beyond what can be inferred from the premise. Question number 50. Amelia. Susan told me about dozens of times she's been a victim of sexual harassment. A lot of men at work have Playboy centerfolds tucked up all over the place. They constantly leer at her, and they are always asking her for dates. One of them even pets her rear when she leans over at the drinking fountain. Frank? Well, there is such a thing as the First Amendment, which supposedly guarantees freedom of expression. You would not want to deny these guys their freedom of expression, would you? In the above conversation, Frank committed the fallacy of what? A. Accident. B. Missing the point. C. Strawman. D. Red herring. Pause the video and try to answer the question by yourself. Question number 15. Answer A. Accident. Frank's response diverts attention from the serious issue of sexual harassment by appealing to the First Amendment and freedom of expression, which is not directly relevant to the situation described by Amelia. This diversion is a form of the fallacy of accident as it shifts focus away from the main point, which is the harmful behavior experienced by Susan, to a tangential issue. Question number 16. If a car breaks down on the freeway, a passing mechanic is not obliged to render emergency road service for identical reasons. If a person suffers a heart attack on the street, a passing physician is not obliged to render emergency medical assistance. This is typically a fallacy of A. Strawman, B. Missing the point, C. Weak analogy, D. False dilemma. Please pause the video and try to answer the question by yourself. Question number 16. Answer C. Weak analogy. The passage presents a weak analogy by comparing the obligation of a passing mechanic to render emergency road service to that of a passing physician to render emergency medical assistance. While the situations may seem analogous on the surface, they involve different levels of expertise and ethical consideration. Therefore, the analogy is weak and the conclusion drawn from it is not valid. Question number 17. Which one of the following is incorrect about the fallacy of strawman and red herring? A. While red herring always makes conclusion about the original argument, strawman usually prefers to keep silent on that respect. B. Strawman manages to distort the original argument by exaggerating the argument, whereas the method of red herring is confined to ignoring the original topic. C. Both red herring and strawman tend to lead to the reader or listener of the original subject, though they do it in a manner that is somehow different. D. Both fallacies involve emotional appeal towards the reader or the listener. Please pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Question number 17. Answer A. While red herring always makes conclusion about the original argument, strawman usually prefers to keep silent on that respect. This statement is incorrect because both the strawman fallacy and the red herring fallacy involve manipulation or distortion of the original argument, while red herring diverts attention by introducing irrelevant information. Strawman misrepresents the original argument, often by exaggerating it or attributing position not actually held by the opponent. Therefore, saying that strawman usually prefers to keep silent about the original argument is inaccurate. Question number 18. If a deductive argument is unsound, then one of the following can be said with certainty. A. It is invalid. B. It has false premises. C. It's both invalid and has false premises. D. None of the above. Please pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Question number 18, answer B. It has false premises. If a deductive argument is unsound, it means that at least one of its premises is false. This does not necessarily mean the argument is invalid. It could still be valid, but unsound due to false premises. Therefore, option B, it has false premises, is the correct answer. Question number 19. Which one is correct about the basic branches of philosophy? A. Epistemology is a study of reality. B. Metaphysics is an attempt to establish ethical standards. C. Axiology is a study of human knowledge. D. Ontology is a study of being and existence. Correct about basic branch of philosophy. Pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Question number 19, answer D. Ontology is the study of being and existence. Ontology is a branch of philosophy that deals with the nature of being, existence, and reality. It explores questions related to what exists, what it means to exist, and how entities relate to each other in terms of existence. Therefore, option D is correct. Question number 20. Which one of the following statement is true? The statement is true. A. If a given argument bases its conclusion on logical irrelevant premises, then it necessarily commits a fallacy. B. If the conclusion of an argument depends on a chain of causes, then it necessarily commits the fallacy of slippery slope. C. Whenever an argument arrives at an assertion based on one's failure to prove its truth, the argument can always be expected to commit the fallacy of ignorance. D. If a conclusion depends on a transference of attribute from members to the class, we can be certain that it commits the fallacy of composition. Pause the video and try to answer the question by yourself. Question number 20, answer A. If a given argument bases its conclusion on logical irrelevant premises, then it necessarily commits fallacy. This statement is true if an argument relies on premises that are logically irrelevant to the conclusion. It commits a fallacy known as the fallacy of irrelevant premises or ignorantio elenchi. This occurs when the premises offered in support of a conclusion are not relevant to that conclusion. Take a break for a minute. If you have any question, please comment us. If you are new to this YouTube channel, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Let's proceed. Question number 21. The type of fallacy committed by the following argument is: developed countries have the moral obligation to assist poor developing countries because most of the developing countries consist of people who earn $1 a day and many people die of common diseases in these countries. A. Appeal to the people. B. Appeal to pity. C. No fallacy. D. Red herring. Please pause the video and try to answer the question by yourself. Question number 21. Answer C. No fallacy. The argument is correct. Question number 22. In the principle of critical thinking, the fallibility principle implies A. One must acknowledge that one's own view is not B. The most dependable. B. Each participant in the dispute committed in searching for truth. C. What is clear to reason. D. All of the above. Please pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Question number 22. Answer A. One must acknowledge that one's own view is not B. The most dependable. The principle of fallibility in critical thinking implies recognizing that one's own beliefs or views may not always be reliable or infallible. This involves being open to the possibility of being wrong and acknowledging the limitation of one's own perspective. Therefore, option A is correct. Question number 23. Critical thinkers are characterized by all except A. Have a passionate drive for clarity. B. Intellectually honest with themselves, recognize their limitation. C. They are welcoming for criticism. D. Lack awareness of their own biases and preconceptions. Please pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Question number 23. Answer D. Lack awareness of their own biases and preconceptions. This statement is incorrect because philosophy does not necessarily entail outright rejection of religious, cultural, and social worldviews, while philosophical inquiry may challenge certain aspects of these worldviews. It also seeks to understand, analyze, and sometimes even incorporate elements of them into its frameworks. Question number 24. Dash is concerned with the fundamental principle of the nature of reality, or why there is anything at all in the universe. A. Empiricism. B. Metaphysics. C. Epistemology. D. Axiology. Please pause the video and try to answer the question by yourself. Question number 24. Answer B. Metaphysics is a branch of philosophy that deals with the fundamental principle of the nature of reality, existence, being, and the universe. It explores questions such as the nature of reality, existence of God, the relationship between mind and body, and the ultimate nature of existence. Therefore, option B is correct. Question number 25. Dash is a fallacy that occurs when an arguer totally ignores or diverts the original argument and raises another issue that attracts the attention of audiences. A. False cause fallacy. B. Red herring fallacy. C. Oversimplified fallacy. D. Strawman fallacy. Please pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Question number 25. Answer B. Red herring fallacy. Red herring fallacy occurs when an arguer ignores or diverts the original argument by raising another issue that attracts the attention of the audience. This distracts from the original argument and leads the audience away from the main point of discussion. Therefore, option B is correct. Question number 26. It's appropriate for parents to invade their children's privacy to protect them from danger. But the role of government is similar to that of parents. Therefore, it's appropriate for the government to invade the privacy of citizens to protect the country. A. Suppressed evidence. B. Begging the question. C. Missing the point. D. Weak analogy. Which fallacy is committed? Please pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Question number 26. Answer D. Weak analogy. The argument presents a weak analogy by comparing the role of parents in invading their children's privacy for protection to the role of the government in invading citizens' privacy for national security. While there may be some similarity between the two situations, they also have significant differences, making the analogy weak. Therefore, option D, weak analogy, is correct. Question number 27. Carbon monoxide is a poisonous gas. Therefore, its two components, carbon and oxygen, must be poisonous. The fallacy committed here is A. Hasty generalization, B. Accident, C. Composition, D. Division. Please pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Question number 27. Answer D. Division. Division is the opposite of composition, where one assumes that what is true of the whole must also be true of its parts. In this case, the argument erroneously assumes that because carbon monoxide is poisonous, its components, carbon and oxygen, must also be poisonous. The definition language means something such as French, German, Spanish, or English is an example of A. Ostensive definition, B. Enumerative definition, C. Demonstrative definition, D. Definition by subclass. Please pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Answer B. Enumerative definition. This definition lists a specific example, French, German, Spanish, or English, to define the term language. Enumerative definition specify individual instances or examples to convey the meaning of a term. Question number 29. The kind of definition that assigns a meaning to a term by indicating the members of the class that the term denotes is A. An intentional definition, B. An operational definition, C. Theoretical definition, D. An extensional definition. Please pause the video and try to answer the question. Question number 21. Answer D. An extensional definition. An extensional definition assigns a meaning to a term by indicating the member of the class that the term denotes. It provides a list or description of the specific instance or example that fall under the defined term. Question number 13. Mammals are vertebrate animals that nourish their young with milk. For example, cats, horse, goat, monkey, and humans are mammals. A. Report, B. Advise, C. Explanation, D. Illustration. Please pause the video and answer the question by yourself. Question number 13. Answer D. Illustration. The passage provides examples of mammals, cats, horse, goat, monkeys, and humans. To illustrate the definition of mammals as vertebrate animals that nourish their young with milk, therefore it serves as an illustration of the concept being described. Students, feel free to comment. If you are new to this YouTube channel, please subscribe our YouTube channel. If you like the video, click on the like button. Let's proceed to the next one. Okay, Question number 31. The question, what is morally good, is different from the question, what is beauty? The difference between the two questions highlights the difference between two branches of philosophy, namely A. Epistemology and aesthetics, B. Ethics and aesthetics, C. Axiology and metaphysics, D. Metaphysics and epistemology. Please pause the video and try to answer the question by yourself. Question number 31. Answer B. Ethics and aesthetics. The question, what is morally good, falls under ethics, which is concerned with the question of right and wrong, good and bad, and moral principles. On the other hand, the question, what is beauty, falls under aesthetics, which is concerned with the question of beauty, art, and sensory experience. Therefore, the difference between these two questions highlights the difference between the branch of philosophy known as ethics and aesthetics. Question number 32. One of the following is an example of precising definition. A. A lawyer means a dishonest and greedy practitioner of the law who will say anything to win a court case and make money. B. Poncho means rain jacket. C. Too hot. For purpose of judging the temperature of coffee means hotter than 180 degrees Fahrenheit. D. Boiling means bubbles of saturated vapor forming in the liquid phase of matter. Please pause the video and try to answer the question by yourself. Question number 32. Answer C. Too hot. For purpose of judging the temperature of coffee means hotter than 180 degrees Fahrenheit. This statement provides a more precise definition of too hot. In the context of judging the temperature of coffee, it specifies a temperature threshold hotter than 180 degrees Fahrenheit. To clarify what is meant by too hot, this type of definition, which narrows down the meaning of a term for a specific context or purpose, is known as precising definition. Question number 33. A crust of bread is better than nothing. Nothing is better than love. Therefore, a crust of bread is better than love. The fallacy committed is equivocation, amphiboly, petito principi, accident. Please pause the video and try to answer the question by yourself. Question number 33. Answer A. Equivocation. The argument uses the term better in two different senses, leading to fallacious conclusion. In the first premise, better refers to a comparison of material value. A crust of bread is better than nothing. In the second premise, better refers to a comparison of emotional or spiritual value. Nothing is better than love. This equivocation on the term better leads to a flawed conclusion that a crust of bread is better than love. Question number 34. Viruses are cellular entities too small to be seen with a light microscope. They are composed of a nucleic acid and a few proteins. Viruses replicate themselves and display other properties of living organisms only when they have invaded living cells. Indeed, some viruses can be crystallized and stored in a container on a shelf for years, but they retain the capacity to invade cells and cause disease. This passage is A. Argument, conclusion. They are composed of a nucleic acid and few proteins. B. Non-argument. C. Argument, conclusion. Viruses are acellular entities. Blah blah blah. Microscope. D. Argument, Conclusion: indeed, some viruses can be crystallized ... cause disease. Please pause the video and try to answer the question by yourself. Answer B. Non-argument. The passage primarily provide factual information about viruses, describing their characteristics and properties, without explicitly presenting an argument or attempting to persuade the reader of particular viewpoint. It simply states facts about viruses without making a claim or drawing a conclusion that requires support or justification. Therefore, it is best classified as a non-argumentative passage. Question number 35. An argument whose conclusion rests on a similarity between two things or situations is A. A valid argument, B. An inductive argument, C. A sound argument, D. A cogent argument. Please pause the video and try to answer the question by yourself. Answer B. An inductive argument. An argument whose conclusion rests on a similarity between two things or situations typically relies on inductive reasoning. Inductive arguments draw conclusions based on observed pattern, similarity, or generalization from specific instances. Therefore, option B is correct. Question number 36. As a lexical definition, the definition a painter easel is an easel used by a painter may be criticized as being A. Negative, B. Too broad, C. Vague, D. Circular. Please pause the video and try to answer the question by yourself. Question number 36. Answer D. Circular. The definition a painter's easel is an easel used by a painter is a circular because it defines the term painter's easel by essentially restating the term itself. It does not provide any additional information or clarification about what distinguishes a painter's easel from any other type of easel. Therefore, it can be criticized as being circular. Question number 37. My friend Connie used a green Bic pen to solve the problems on her last algebra test, and after the test was graded, she got an A. So, if you want to get an A in algebra, you should work all the test problems with a green Bic pen. A. Begging the question. B. Argument against the person. Abusive. C. False cause. D. Red herring. Please pause the video and try to answer the question by yourself. Question number 37. C. False cause. The argument implies that using a green Bic pen caused Connie to receive an A on her algebra test. However, there is no logical connection between using a specific pen and achieving a certain grade on a test. Therefore, the argument commits the fallacy of false cause by incorrectly attributing Connie's success to the use of a particular pen. Question number 38. Religious fanatics are basically crazy because they are deluded. Of course, they are deluded because they believe nonsense. And they believe nonsense because they are hopeless, narrow-minded. Naturally, they are hopelessly narrow-minded because they are basically crazy. A. Begging the question. B. No fallacy. C. Red herring. D. Slippery slope. Please pause the video and try to answer the question. Question number 38. Answer A. Begging the question. This argument is an example of begging the question, also known as circular reasoning. The premises and the conclusion essentially assert the same thing in different words, creating a circular argument without providing any valid evidence or reasoning to support the claim. Therefore, option A is correct. we have finished part 1 choose. Now we will proceed to the second part, matching. Let's proceed. Question number 39, argumentum ad basilem. 14, argumentum ad misericordiam. Petito principi, red herring, unsupported assertions. 44, lustration. 45, uncogent argument. 46, precising definition. 47, enumerative definition. 48, lexical definition. The second part, column B. A occurs when an argument's premises assumes the truth of the conclusion instead of supporting it. B. The use of example to make idea more concrete and to make generalization more specific and detailed. C. Mention the definitions individually. D. Used to avoid ambiguity. E. Statements about what a speaker or writer happens to believe. F. Used to reduce vagueness. G. An inductive argument that is either weak or has at least one false premise. H. Uses a distraction in an argument that draws attention off topic. I. Emphasizes the negative consequences of holding the contrary position regardless of the contrary position truth value. J. A fallacy in which someone tries to win support for an argument or idea by exploiting one's opponent's feelings of pity or guilty. Please pause the video and try to answer the question by yourself. Question number 39. Answer I. Emphasizing the negative consequence of holding the contrary position regardless of the contrary position truth value. Question number 14. Argumentum ad misericordiam. Answer J. A fallacy in which someone tries to win support for an argument or idea by exploiting one's opponent's feeling of pity or guilty. Question number 41. Petito principi. Answer A. Occurs when an argument's premises assume the truth of the conclusion instead of supporting it. Question number 42. Red herring. H. Uses a distraction in an argument that draws attention off topic. Question number 43. Unsupported assertions. Answer A. Statement about what a speaker or writer happens to believe. Question number 44. Lustration. Answer B. The use of example to make ideas more concrete and to make generalization more specific and detailed. Question number 45. Uncogent argument. Answer G. An inductive argument that is either weak or has at least one false premise. Question number 46. Precising definition. Answer F. Used to reduce vagueness. Question number 47. Enumerative definition. Answer C. Mentions the defendants individually. Question number 48. Lexical definition. Answer D. Used to avoid ambiguity. This is the matching part. Let's proceed. In the second part, we have fill in the blank space questions. Question number 49. Dash is the principle of good argument, which requires that one who presents an argument for or against a position should include in the argument an effective rebuttal to all anticipated serious criticism of the argument that may be brought against it or against the position it supports. Please pause the video and try to answer the question by yourself. The answer, the principle of rebuttal. Question number 15. Dash egocentrism is one of the barriers to critical thinking that see reality as centered on oneself. Please pause the video and try to answer the question by yourself. Egocentrism. Sorry, the answer was already here, but take this as the answer, egocentrism. So this is all about AASTU 2014 Ethiopian calendar final exam questions. This is የእውቀት ስንቅ. For any question, comment, please comment us. If you are new for this YouTube channel, please subscribe our channel. This is all about logic and critical thinking freshman education. Thank you.